All right, everybody, I'm Logan Alec, I'm a CPA, and this is my stimulus update for Thursday, July 23rd. Here's the situation, folks. Mitch McConnell is expected to release the Republican stimulus legislation today. It could be one large bill or perhaps multiple smaller bills, but here's an update on what we know. Mitch gave an overview of some of the things in the Republican legislation on the Senate floor 2 days ago. Watch that video if you missed it, link at the top of the screen. Reports are that the White House and Senate Republicans were disagreeing for the past few days about including a payroll tax cut in the next stimulus relief package. As we've talked about before here on the channel, a payroll tax cut would essentially give workers a little bit more money in their paychecks every month. Trump and Kudlow have expressed strong support for a payroll tax cut. Senate Republicans, however, not so much, because I think they know that Pelosi and the Democrats would not go for it. But now it appears that there is a resolution to this issue. This morning, Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin was on Squawk Box and he was asked about the payroll tax cut. Here's what he said.
We hear again and again and again about that there's remaining residual tension between the White House and the president and Senate Republicans on the payroll tax provisions, tax cuts. Where is that?
Let me be clear. We think the payroll tax cut is a very good pro-growth policy. But the president's focus is he wants to get money into people's pockets now because we need to reopen the economy. One of the issues I think you know about the payroll tax cut is people get that money over time. So the president's preference is to make sure that we send out direct payments quickly so that in August people get more money. There's no question this worked before. Retail sales was up year over year, 1%. People went out and spent that money in small businesses, and that's having a big impact in the economy. So as I said, it's all about getting money now for kids and jobs.
Okay. Sounds like then it's not going to be in the bill.
It won't be in the base bill, but again, as we roll out new things, and again, this is CARES 4.0, there could be CARES 5.0.
Okay.
So there you have it, folks. Steven Mnuchin just said right there that the payroll tax cut will not be in the immediate legislation we should see today, but rather stimulus checks would be in there, because while a payroll tax cut gives people, and only employed people, mind you, a boost in every paycheck, the full benefit of which wouldn't be realized for months, right, as they get each paycheck, the stimulus checks would be able to go out and boost the economy immediately. And when would that be, according to Mnuchin? Mnuchin said the next round of stimulus checks would go out in August. Of course, that is what we've been hoping for. And of course, this is assuming that Republicans and Democrats can work together to agree on the legislation. So it appears that the White House and Republican senators have reached an accord, and they seem to be on the same page at this point. And guess what? Did you hear that bit at the end there? Mnuchin also opened the door to future stimulus bills. He said, yeah, right now we're going to roll out CARES 4.0. This is the bill we've been waiting for. But he said there could very well be a CARES 5.0. McConnell, however, has said that this next round of relief will be the last, but Mnuchin said what he said. In this interview, Mnuchin also said that the priority in the next round of legislation will be kids and jobs. He talked about the $105 billion for school reopening that McConnell mentioned on the Senate floor a couple days ago. He mentioned liability protection, $25 billion for COVID-19 testing, perhaps a further extension of PPP, but more targeted for companies whose revenues are down 50% or more and who really need the money. He talked about tax credits for businesses to hire new employees, and he also talked about the supercharged unemployment benefits, and his answer was more clear than what President Trump said a couple days ago. Here's what Mnuchin said.
And I think, as you know, we have the enhanced unemployment insurance that's expiring next week, so that's a priority. We need to respond to that. As we've said before, we're not going to continue it in its current form because we're not going to pay people more money to stay at home than work, but we want to make sure that the people that are out there that can't find jobs do get a reasonable wage replacement. So it will be based on approximately 70% wage replacement.
So Mnuchin clarified a 70% figure that Trump threw out there is referring to wage replacement, which is what I suspected in my video a couple days ago, right? Not 70% of the $600, which would be more money, $420 a week. Republicans would not go that high, especially as a starting point in negotiations with Democrats. We know that CNBC reported this could be as low as $100 a week yesterday. I made a video about that when that story broke. Of course, that was just based on anonymous sources, as I said in that video. But really, we really got to see what the legislation says, right, about not only stimulus checks but also unemployment, and we'll hopefully see that piece of legislation today. On the topic of unemployment, The weekly unemployment claims data came out today, indicating that 1.4 million Americans applied for unemployment for the week ending July 18th, compared to 1.3 million in the preceding week. This is the first time that weekly unemployment claims have gone up week over week since March, so that's a little frightening. Also frightening are the rising COVID-19 deaths, over 1,100 nationwide yesterday. That's the highest number we've seen in a while. But okay, so now all there is to do at this point is just sit tight and wait for McConnell to release his legislation, hopefully today. That's what we're hearing. And right when he does, I will dig into it and make a video about what they're thinking in terms of stimulus checks and unemployment. We still haven't heard word confirming one way or the other if the eligibility requirements will change from the CARES Act in this round of stimulus in the Republican bill, or what the amount will be. We know that the number 2 Senate Republican, John Thune, yesterday, or actually a couple days ago, expressed openness to simply another CARES Act type of stimulus, same recipients, same amounts, but we will see what's in the legislation that will hopefully come out today. So stay tuned for that. Be sure to subscribe below so you don't miss it, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.